Hey YouTube. So I've been planning on doing. I have dogs behind me. I've been planning on doing some but slightly more interesting deck profiles. So the one that will be coming very very shortly, possibly even within this week, depending on time allowances. Maybe even today, again depending on time allowances. Is I uploaded a Zoodiac deck profile as one of my first videos, and well. I like 2017 format a lot. Like, I mean a lot. So, I've been messing around with trying to create a working current format True Draco Zoo profile. Not the most competitive thing ever, but it works. And I have just been waiting on a few postal orders. Because I will upload a Zoodiac True Draco deck profile and also a pure True Draco profile, because True Draco is one of the first competitive decks I ever played, so it's got that sort of special thing for me. I know, filthy Draco player, but I really did enjoy the deck, and it holds a lot of sentimental value for me, being the deck that I took to my first ever YCS, and currently my only YCS, thanks Corona. Anyway, yeah, so for what has arrived today, there are still some things missing for the True Draco pure profile, but I do believe I have everything for the Zoo Draco profile. One of the things I was waiting for the pure variant is card atomize. So this came off of a guy. He was very, very kind. We sorted out a trade deal for a secret rare, although that's really not picking up on the camera. Let's try and get that. Is that going to come up at all? Oh, it's not. I guess that's what you get for using your phone camera. A little bit. But anyway, one secret, and he also threw in an ultra rare, just for, you know, sake of kindness. So huge thanks to that guy. He knows who he is if he by some fluke happens to see this. Huge shout outs to you, man. You didn't have to do that. Really appreciate it. And then the other thing that arrived today, besides the Vertianaconda that will fall through my door at any point within the next, don't know, 10-15 minutes, so it depends how long this takes. You know what? I think we'll do the profile in just this one video as well, just for sake of it. The other thing that arrived is this. The easiest way to get hold of stuff for a pure Draco profile at the moment is to just buy Monarchs. So this is the vast majority of a Monarch core, with the exception of Erebus and Aether and Kuraz, I believe. But 3 Edir, 3 Ados, you know, can't really go wrong with that. It's just some more things. I could have a look at building Monarchs maybe at a later point. What really mattered is the spells. So we've got Domain, which we of course need for the True Draco profile. They're only stretch deck commons, but you know, they're what I needed. Domains, because Diagram is at 1, so we have to play another spell card. Stormforth, so that we can get rid of Dragoon. Strike the Monarchs, because we need some degree of negation. And then, how many of these are there? I thought there was only one. Ah, there is only one, okay. We've got a rare Gold Sarcophagus from DL18. I don't actually know what set that is, but that's for Ritual Beasts, so maybe I'll do a Ritual Beast profile. I'm not 100% certain. And March of the Monarchs. This one we probably won't be playing, but it does prevent them from being targeted or destroyed by card effects. And yes, I will be playing Domain, Lockdown, no extra deck Draco, just because that's what I'm comfortable with. And finally, for our traps, what traps have we got coming in? Well, we're starting with the big one, the Monarchs Erupt. This is the card that allows True Draco to still be at all relevant. Ooh, so we've got 2 Erupt. It'll be a bit concerning if we've only got 2. We might end up having to play with just the 2. I don't know. Monarchs Awaken. I don't actually know what that does. Ah, it may be a matter of they're scattered about, because there's a 3rd Awaken there. We've got the first Monarch. by order of the Emperor. Escalation. It's starting to look a bit unlikely, actually. There may only be 2. Oh, nope, there it is. Awesome. 3 Monarchs erupt. Perfect. Ooh, I've just realised they're all off camera. Oh well, they're Monarch cards. Are you that interested in what Monarchs do? I don't actually know what half these cards do. This one lets you tribute summon during the main phase or battle phase, but the True Draco continuous traps let you do that anyway. This one makes it unaffected, but also negates its effects, so it's like negate a Draco to make it unkillable or something. By order of the Emperor. When a monster effect is activated, that activates when a monster is normal summoned. You can negate the activation. Then the player whose effect's activation was negated draws 1 card. I don't know. That one's a bit weird. I don't think it's going to come up. And then the first Monarch is this one that gets played in Monarch lists. Special summon it as an effect monster. Discard 1, declare an attribute, becomes that attribute. Treat as 2 tribute summons from monsters with the same attribute. Cannot special summon monsters except monsters with this card's attribute. Okay, that might have some degree of usage. And there's one more. This one I know sees play. This one's the Prime Monarch. Once per turn, target 2 Monarch spells or traps in your graveyard, shuffle them into the deck, draw a card. If this card is in the graveyard, banish one of the Monarch. Special summon this card in defense as a normal monster. Okay, cool. So this one's definitely one that you would play if you were playing pure Monarchs. I do have Pantheisms coming. They're in the post, so I can't do the pure Draco profile today. But the basic idea is that you use Stormforth, Erupt, Pantheism, and Strike to serve as a draw plus disruption engine to make up for the loss of 2 Demise and 2 Diagram. So that will hopefully be finished soon. But, like I said, I can't really be bothered. Time seems to be allowing at the moment. So let's have a look at this interesting piece of kind of history, which is Zoodiac Draco. Give me just 2 secs, and I'll be right back with the profile. Okay, so we're back. I just had to grab a couple cards out because I did make some last minute changes. Just on realization that actually the idea of running Gamma in a deck that's going to sort of try and simplify a board state and draw lots of cards, you probably don't want to draw into Gamma past turn 1, especially when your main board mechanic is creating board presence. So Gamma's probably going to be sat in the side, so I put a couple cards that were in the side deck into the main deck, and I also took out Imperial Order just to give this the slight competitive edge, just because I don't actually believe there's too many spells floating around at the moment that resolve on the field. Obviously you again, side deck card, you'd side it in against things like Infernoble, but this is probably the most generic form of the deck that we have available without access, obviously, to Masterpiece, because he's banned, because he's very, very good, but he's also basically about as strong as Dragoon. So while Dragoon's out, come on, let us have Dynamite, let us have Masterpiece, let us have more than one Dynamite. That's what I meant to say. So for the Draco lineup, we are playing 1 Dynamite Knight, 2 Ignis Heats, and 2 Majesty Maiden. If you don't know what these guys do, basically they kill the format as far as I'm aware. Along with Zoodiac, actually. Yeah, 2 format killers chilling together. Awesome. What could go wrong? Basically, these guys have quick effects that whenever a soft once per turn, when a card or effect that your opponent controls is activated, while you control this tribute summoned monster, it has to be tribute summoned, that's very important, you can resolve their effect. So Majesty Maiden searches a monster out for you and adds it to your hand. Ignis Heat searches spells, and he can either add the spell to your hand, or he can activate it to your side of the field. And Dynamite does the same as Ignis Heat, but with traps. So they provide field presence, they provide large, decently high attack. They have 23, 24, and 25 respectively. So Ignis Heat is technically a Monarch, so again, for the pure list, keep an eye out for that one. There is some degree of synergy there. I'm also waiting on a third Ignis where I'm actually getting a set of secrets, because as you can see at the moment, one's secret, one's ultra, and it's annoying me a tiny bit. But anyway, yeah, they're basically a resource engine, and provide attack if you're struggling to beat over things. And then the other part of the deck is obviously your Zoodiacs. So we're playing the one Zoodiac Rapir, 2 copies of Thoroughblade, 3 copies of Ram, and 3 copies of Whiptail. So the reason you're doing this is quite simple, actually. You set these up in 3 categories. You play 3 of each of them. You play 3 starters. Rapir is a 1-card Megaclops. It's insane. And then Thoroughblade is basically your backup to Rat, because Thoroughblade plus Ram in the hand is a 2-card combo for Megaclops. Ram has to be in the grave. If you want to make Megaclops, this needs to get into your grave. Or you need to get a Zoo in your grave and then this to eventually make its way to the grave. You could run Foolish in this deck. I'm running it in my current pure Zoo variant, which, if you want to see me redo a Zoo list, maybe I'll do it. Because I'm really not happy with the Zoo list that's currently up on the channel. It's pretty garbage. Yeah. And then Whiptail outs Dragoon, because at the end of the damage step, banish the card it battles. So you bait out their negate with your Draco engine, and then you attach Whip to any Zoo XEs, crash it into the Dragoon. Dragoon is gone. It's no longer an issue for you. So the way that I like to sum these up is you play 3 interruptions, 3 extenders, and 3 starters. Quite simple. Which means that you are actually only running about 14 actual main deck monsters. What does that mean? It means you have room for hand traps. We're playing 3 copies of Ash. We're also playing 3 copies of Imperm, which are just chilling over here with the rest of the trap cards. This is my hand trap lineup. This is all I think I need for a current hand trap lineup, because again, our plan is to simplify the board state. We will be side decking cards like Nibiru, the Primal Being, but these are the ones that consistently at a local level, because obviously we have no regionals, we have no YCSs at the moment, at a local level, at a local level, these are what you want to be using. These stop the most decks the most often. And obviously for your side deck, you'd want things like Gamma, you'd want Gamma Package, Droll and Lockbird, maybe Ghost Ogre, maybe Phantasme, just sort of things that hit more specific decks. Lancia, DD Crow, you know, kind of your standard stuff for that kind of format. If you know you're going second, side in hand traps, side out you're going first cards. And then we have our spells and traps. So we've got 3 copies of True Draco Heritage, 2 copies of Disciples of the True Draco Phoenix. This is a resource engine. As with all the True Draco cards, these get you your resources, which gets you into your Zoodiac package, and then your Zoodiac package is essentially your power plays, because you're kind of trying to turbo into Megaclops and then wrestle control out from under whatever combo deck you are probably facing. True Draco Heritage lets you draw up to the number of True Draco spell, trap, monster, those type, that have been sent from the field to the graveyard this turn. So the ones that have been tributed, the ones that have been destroyed, the ones that have been sent by AA Zeus because Phantom Rage is coming out soon. Anything like that. Heritage. So this is up to a draw 3, depending on how many you can pop. As we only have 1 diagram, you don't see it as often. So this is normally a draw 1 or a draw 2. In the pure variant, I am aiming to have this be a consistent draw 3, but at the moment this is just a draw engine. It gets you 3 cards. And Disciples, you target 3 Draco cards in your graveyard, shuffle them back in, draw a card. It's another draw. It's also a resource loop. So this keeps you going in the long run. This gives you that short burst of power when you want to make a power play. We're also playing the 1 copy of Zoodiac Barrage, because Zoodiac Barrage is an insane card that should probably never come back to more than 1, but I would love for it to come back to more than 1, because I love Zoodiac. Essentially, you target a face-up card on the field, so you can target a Draco spell and trap and trigger their effect in the graveyard. Yeah, basically I forgot to mention that. Ooh, that's probably quite important. The spells, when sent to the graveyard, target a spell or trap on the field, destroy it. You can target ones you control, ones your opponent controls. It doesn't matter which one you target. you can just gain advantage through it. And the traps destroy monsters. Target a monster on the field and destroy it. So Barrage can trigger those because it just targets any face-up card, destroy it, and if you do, special summon Zoodiac monster from your deck. So this plus a Ram in the hand is a Mega Clops. And then if it's destroyed by a card effect and sent to the graveyard, target a Zoodiac Xyz monster you control and attach it as material. So if you Mega Clops and bring back Trident, and then tribute Heritage to summon a True Draco monster, and then pop Barrage, you can attach Barrage to the Trident, and now your Trident is live to pop 2 cards, not just 1. Obviously on alternating turns, because Trident is a soft once per turn, but is still a once per turn. Field spells. Field spells are quite important in this deck, mainly because of this one, Dragonic Diagram. Also at 1, because 2017 was a format of incredibly broken cards. Not for cost, destroy one of the cards you control or is in your hand, add 1 True Draco or True King card from your deck to your hand. This searches any True Draco card in your deck, and True King's return, which we'll get to later. Crazy. Also provides battle protection. You have to beat over a True Draco twice. They all gain 300 attack as well, so like beating over a 2800 Dynamite twice is harder than it sounds, surprisingly. And again, yeah, it is a crazy resource loop. You can pop a True Draco spell or trap while Heritage is on the field, search a True Draco card, activate Heritage, draw 1, possibly even 2. This card is crazy. I miss it being at 3. And then for the rest of our field spell engine, 1 copy of Mystic Mine, 1 copy of Terraforming, and 1 copy of Set Rotation. And you may be sat there thinking, why would I Set Rotation give my opponent Mystic Mine if my end board is multiple monsters? One of those monsters is Mega Clops. Mega Clops can target the Mystic Mine that you set to the opponent's side of the field and tuck it under a Trident. So now you have a Trident, a Mega Clops, and a True Draco, potentially. Yeah, it's pretty good. Set Rotation is just a second copy of Terraforming in this deck. And when you have 2 copies of Terraforming and 1 copy of Diagram, you've got 3 copies of Diagram, which is almost as good as pretending that the card's at 3 and cheating your way through a locals. Don't do that. That's bad. Play this instead. Hope and pray you open one of these 3. Try not to open this. Try not to banish this off of Desirous either, because you do have to play Desirous because you need to draw lots and lots and lots of cards. My dogs went absolutely crazy for no reason. So yeah, your field spell engine is pretty crucial to this deck and providing the synergies of blowing your own stuff up for advantage. On to the more generic spells. 3 copies of Tenki. Searches any of your zoos, so it searches one of your 3 starters, either Thoroughblade if you have drawn a Ramram, Ramram if you have drawn a Thoroughblade, or Rapier if you have drawn neither. Tenki is incredible. It's also a continuous spell, so it acts as tribute fodder for your True Dracos. And then draw power, 2 copies of Desires, 2 copies of Avarice, and 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. This is your draw engine because you will probably get ashed on the diagram. Let's not beat around the bush here. Desires says draw 2. Avarice, you dump so many Zoodiacs into the grave, it's not even funny. Avarice is insane in this deck. Literally, if you do the Mega Clops combo, you end with exactly 5 Zoodiac cards in your graveyard. Shuffle them back, draw 2. There you go. And then Talent is Pot of Greed if they ash you at any point. Then we're playing the 1 Call by the Grave because it's at 1, and again, ash on diagram. And then finally onto our traps. So trap-wise, we're playing 3 copies of True Draco Apocalypse. This Out's Dragoon is quickly becoming the slogan of this profile. Destroy another True Draco or True King card you control. Have the attack of all monsters your opponent controls permanently. So you halve the attack of the Dragoon, and then Dynamite just beats him over the head. True King's Return. You can't special summon for the rest of the turn after you resolve the effect of this one, so do be careful of that. But the True King's Return lets you special a True Draco monster from your graveyard in defense. It doesn't get its effect because it has to be tribute summoned for the True Draco monsters to have their effects, but but it does basically meat shield in a way, which is really, really good, really, really helpful. And of course, all of your True Draco and True King traps have the effect that during your opponent's main phase, I believe it has to be the main phase, yes, during your opponent's main phase, you can tribute summon a True Draco monster once per turn. So you can use Apocalypse to tribute summon a True Draco monster, tributing itself, possibly, or tributing just any other face-up spell or trap you control. And then you have board presence. If you tribute the return or the Apocalypse, you can also destroy a monster on the field. So that's a really, really cool little thing that the deck can do. And the final card in the main deck is one copy of Zoodiac Combo. This card's okay. It's basically a third copy of Avarice. You target 5 Zoodiac cards in your grave with different names, shuffle them back into the deck, and draw a card. And then it also lets you target a Zoodiac you control and attach a Zoodiac from your deck to that Xyz monster as material. The Avarice effect of this is a banish it from the grave, so just bear that in mind. And I don't believe it works. I believe it works the same as Avarice. So if your opponent does use DD Crow to banish one of the targets, I believe it doesn't resolve. So again, just another glaring weakness of this deck because it's from 2017 and power creep exists. So just be careful of that, but still a really, really good card and definitely worth running. So that essentially sums up the main deck. And for our extra deck, it's quite self-explanatory. It is a Zoodiac deck at heart. So we're playing a large number of Zoodiac monsters. So we're playing the one copy of Zoodiac Trident because this card is limited. Soft once per turn, target one face-up card on the field, detach your material, and destroy it. So you can pop your own stuff to protect it from being impermed. If that ever comes up, you can pop opponent's cards. Just a single targeting pop may not sound that impressive. Like, this thing is basically just a Raigeki break on legs. But when you combine it with the fact that you also have the True Dracos providing field presence and simplifying the game state, you have an unkillable Megaclops that can bring this thing back every turn. It really does start to add up to something quite cool. 3 Zoodiac Chakanine, this is part of your 1-card combo into Megaclops, which is on the terribly bad Zoodiac deck profile elsewhere on the channel. If you are going to check that video out, just check out the combo at the end. The list isn't great. But what you are basically trying to do is ladder through Dryden, Chakanine, and Tiger Mortar to end up on a field that includes one of each. And then you overlay them. You don't overlay them, sorry. You link them away into Megaclops. You can overlay them. I'll show you what you can overlay them into in just a second. Destroy one, targeting. Reborn a Zoodiac from your grave. Attach a Zoodiac from your grave to an Xyz monster you control. The resource loop is essentially that you summon Chakanine, reborn a Ram, summon Dryden, pop the Ram, bring back the Chakanine, make Tiger Mortar over the Dryden, detach the Dryden to attach to the Chakanine, and then use the Chakanine effect because they are all soft once per turns, to then bring back the Dryden, and now you have 3 Xyz monsters on your field. Your other Zoodiac Xyz are 2 copies of Bulbo, 1 copy of Hammerkong. I may flip this so that I'm playing 2 copies of Hammerkong, 1 copy of Bulbo. Bulbo lets you attack directly, which will be really, really good once Zeus comes out, and then Hammerkong provides protection as long as he has Xyz materials. So what you really want to do is you want to kind of detach this guy to get him into the grave, and then reborn him with Chakanine and tuck something under him with Tiger Mortar. Because his effects will be negated on your turn, you won't have to detach during the end phase, and you'll only have to detach it during the opponent's end phase, meaning that for their whole turn, they can't target other Zoodiac monsters except Hammerkong. So that's really, really useful there. And that is your Zoodiac Xyz. But that's not the only Xyz we're playing, because that would be kind of silly. We're also playing Number F0 Utopic Future, because it kind of halfway outs Dragoon. You summon it using 2 Xyz monsters of the same rank, except numbers, so you use 2 Zoodiacs. I've already shown you how you make 3 Zoodiacs, so just make 2 of them into this thing. When it attacks a monster, neither player takes any battle damage from attacks involving this card, and it can't be destroyed by battle, but then anything it swings into, you take control of until the end of the battle phase. You can attack into a Dragoon and take control of it and then hit them with their own Dragoon, which is pretty cool. And then if it would be destroyed by a card effect, it has a Balinx level of just replacement effect where you just detach a material from it, which I have been informed does not activate. So that's a really, really helpful little interaction. Don't get cheated on that. They can't negate it. So he basically, if your opponent tries to Dragoon kill him, and they've made it with 2 materials, this guy will just live, which is really, really cool. And the final Xyz is the 1-die Gusto Emerald, because 2017 format nostalgia. Target 3 monsters in your grave, shuffle all 3 into the deck, draw a card. 2 level 4 monsters. Pretty nice. And then we're playing 4 links. Gravity Controller, because sometimes you open 1 Zoodiac, 1 Avarice, nothing else, and you need the 2 cards. So you normal summon your Zoo, summon, overlay into 4 different Zoodiac Xyz, so Borbo, Hammer Kong, Chakanine, Tiger Mortar. Then you link all of those away, you make Gravity Controller. You now have 5 in the grave because you've got your 4 Xyz and your Ram, or whatever Zoodiac you normal summoned. Activate Avarice, shuffle all 5 back in, draw 2 cards. Pretty good. Just as a resource enabler, and it also like bounces anything it battles that was in the main the extra monster zone, I believe. So it does have some utility. You basically just use this if you've bricked and you need to resolve the Avarice, though. Nightmare Cerberus, because sometimes there's problematic cards that you can't beat over. In a similar vein, Ningirsu, the World Chalice Warrior. It's hard to make. You basically have to use Gravity Controller plus Serb, or Megaclops plus Serb. But when you make it, it outs Dragoon. It just sends 1 card from both players' sides of the field, so you can send a True Draco spell trap as well, and then activate Heritage and then draw a card, while non-targeting, non-destruction removal of an opponent's card. Pretty good. And then the boy itself, the Infinitrack Fortress Megaclops, 4000 attack, link 3, made with 3 Xyz, cannot be destroyed by battle, or be affected by card effects of monsters that are not Xyz monsters. Spells and traps are still fair game, which kinda sucks. And then, once per turn, target 1 card your opponent controls, and 1 Xyz monster in your graveyard. Special summon the monster from your graveyard, and if you do, attach that card your opponent controls to it as Xyz material. For the rest of this turn, your opponent takes halved battle damage. So it can be slightly difficult, maybe, potentially, to deal lethal, because you halve the damage output. But you Reborn Trident, and you tuck the Mystic Mine you gave your opponent under set rotation back to them, which is great. You can also just steal any opponent's card that can be targeted. So you can't steal Dragoon. It doesn't out Dragoon. It does beat over Dragoon, though. If by some... yeah, it does. It kills Dragoon, because they negate one of your cards. You still somehow manage to make Megaclops. Megaclops is on 4k. The Dragoon will be on 4k because it's negated 1 card. It's on 4k. This crashes into the Dragoon. Dragoon dies. This doesn't. Problem solved. Bish bash bosh. In a way, it does out Dragoon. And that's basically it. It's a pretty boring deck profile. It's very linear because, like I said, its win condition is to try and simplify the game state. But it does it pretty well, I've got to say. And it's very fun to play. So, if you look at something kind of nostalgic, kind of not, kind of degenerate, kind of not, something you can take to like a remote duels or a locals, or just a couple games with friends, definitely try this out. It's really, really great. Load of fun. No one's going to expect it. No one's going to expect anyone to bring True Draco Zoodiac to an event in 2020. So please try it out. Please let me know how it goes. I will catch you guys at a later date. Yeah. Pure Draco list coming at some point. Pure Zoo list, maybe. Don't know. Depends how happy I get. Zoodiac True Brigade, definitely coming. November 5th. Phantom Rage comes out. Everything changes. That deck is incredible. I love that deck. Almost as much as I love 2017. So, thank you guys so much for checking out this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you guys next time.